Welcome to the House of Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. I hope everybody's having a great Monday wherever you guys are at. For those that don't know, I am your host and your resident tribal chief, Hammer.
Acknowledge me.
Those coming on in, y'all know the routine. Those new in here, let me teach you real quick. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. We have a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, as it stands right now, we do not have Joe. He is on assignment. He's got a lot going on. He said he would try to call in at some point today, but he will not be live in living color during this live. And it sucks because I was looking forward. Now we're going on 2 weeks with no Hammer and Joe show, no Hammer and Joe show. But it is what it is. Let's do a quick roll call before we go any further. I don't know why this is happening with this, what do you call it? Having an issue with X. So we're not on X today, unfortunately, and it is what it is. Let me remove this real quick. Whatever. All right. Roll call. Can't get rights in the building. OIC is in the building. Oh, I see. Taino salute. Andy, Sarah H. The mod mom is in the building. Mr. APDDT off the top rope. What's good, bro? Raider Clan salute. Manny salute. Let's see if I'm missing anybody right now. Jason Downs. I think we're good for the time being. I know starting slow. We're gonna get right to this. So let's start it off with around the league. Get this rundown up for you guys as well. There we go. Let's go around the scores of the NFL from yesterday's games. You had the Falcons beating the Dallas Cowboys 27-21. Dak Prescott did leave the game with a hamstring injury, so it looks like Trey Lance season in Dallas. Good Lord, help them. Ravens dog walked the Broncos 41-10. And a nail biter to the very end. The Bills beat the Dolphins 30-27. 23-20, the Panthers defeated the New Orleans Saints, and we are going to talk about that as we go further into this afternoon. Of course, we lost 41-24. We're going to do the recap of that momentarily. Chargers beat the Browns 27-10. The Commanders handled their business at MetLife. Yeah, you heard me call it right. 27-22 over the New York Football Giants. Titans defeated the Patriots 20-17. The Cardinals handled business at home against the Chicago Bears 29-9. The Eagles, I still can't get over this video. I keep seeing it over and over and over again. They beat the Jags 28-23, but Saquon Barkley is just a different breed, man. He pulled some NFL street shit with a reverse hurdle jump yesterday that I guarantee you there's going to be little kids that are going to be wanting to try this now. First, it was the OBJ catch almost 10 years ago, if not 10 years ago. Now little kids are going to want to do this reverse hurdle. That was just absolutely insane. Lions handled business in Green Bay. Terrible weather. That rain was just a nightmare to watch. 24-14, the Lions defeated the Green Bay Packers. 26-20, the Rams defeated the Seahawks. Puka Nacua ejected during the game, throwing a punch. Not sure if the ejection was necessarily warranted, but there was another ejection during one of these games yesterday we're going to talk about further in this live today. 21-13, the Sunday night game. Vikings defeated the Colts with Joe Flacco starting for the Colts. It was a very interesting game, a very low-scoring game early in the game, but Vikings ultimately came out on top. So there you guys have it with the around the league scores. So now, yes, there's still stuff to talk about around the league. Earlier this morning, the Saints fired their head coach, Dennis Allen, after their 7th loss in a row. Came on, hot start, 2-0, high-scoring offense for those first 2 weeks, and it just fizzled out very, very quickly. Funny enough, though, we talked about this for a while, that we did believe that the addition of a quarterback who shall no longer be named, I'm still not saying his name, I don't care, he would pretty much be the reason that Dennis Allen would be gone either last season or this season. Well, 2-7, he's officially gone, and that quarterback who shall not be named practically got Chris Olave killed yesterday, his 2nd concussion of this season, trying to go up for a high catch and took one really, really bad. So his 2nd concussion, he did travel back with the team. But as of now, Chris Olave is in concussion protocol. So there you guys have it with the around the league. And let me get you guys back up on screen. And let's get into this recap. And again, we still have a lot more to talk about. So stay tuned, guys. And I appreciate everybody that's in here today. You see it in the top left corner. We're 21 subs away from 9,500. Appreciate everybody that's in here today. And again, we are on other platforms. We're on Twitch. We're on IG. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Salute to everybody on all the platforms. If you guys want to be a part of the conversation, come on over. Raider Nation News Today on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. Moving on, let's recap this game yesterday for us. And let's go through the team stats first. First downs, 26-16 in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals. Third down efficiency, 5 for 13 for the Raiders, 8 for 15 for the Bengals. They were 1 for 1 on fourth down. We were 0 for 1. Total yards, 217 to 373 for Cincinnati. 11 drives for the Raiders, 13 for the Bengals. 3.7 yards per play for the Raiders, 5.3 for the Bengals. Yards per, I'm sorry, I already did that. Passing, 157 to 243 in favor of Cincinnati. Rushing, 60 to 130 in favor of the Bengals. Penalties, 6 for 51 yards for the Raiders, 7 for 60 for the Cincinnati Bengals. We had 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles lost, of course. Burrow threw that pick 6 to Jag Jones. Time of possession, 24-46 for the Raiders, 35-14 for the Bengals. Your game leaders, Joe Burrow, 27-39, 251 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Gardner Minshew, 10 for 17, 124 yards. Alexander Madison, 9 carries, 36 yards. Chase Brown, 27 carries for 120 yards. He was all over the place. He had a lot of total yards throughout that game. Jacoby Myers, 8 receptions, 105 yards. Not a bad game for him. Mike Gesicki, 5 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, you know, we still got to give our guy credit because he did get a touchdown, even though it was garbage time. But everybody's favorite tight end in the league right now with that 1 touchdown reception towards the tail end of the game. So let's move on. And we know what you guys are here for. And you guys see it on the rundown. So late last night, this was actually a little bit before midnight, Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero both reported that offensive coordinator Luke Getsy had been fired. Again, we sit here at 2-7 right now. Not ideal in any way, shape, or form. Yesterday's game, and we heard AP in the presser earlier this afternoon, they used a total of 8 linemen yesterday. Pete went down with injury. Whitehair went down with injury. Miller went down with injury. It was just a complete shit show yesterday in terms of offensive linemen going down. Nate Hobbs went down with an ankle injury. We haven't heard anything, and this is the bye week, so you probably won't hear anything until they resume practice next Wednesday. Alongside Luke Getsy, quarterbacks coach Rich Scangarello, and offensive line coach James Gregg have both also been relieved of their duties. Now, the run game is ranked 30th in the league right now. Passing game is ranked. We were going into that game, we were ranked between 16th and 18th. And the offensive line has just been abysmal, and we've talked about it week in and week out. Now, what's crazy is in the presser earlier this afternoon, Antonio Pierce said that the decision in terms of the firing of these coaches was 100% his decision. I don't know how much I believe that, but at the same time, this is something for all 3 of these guys. It should have been done weeks ago. You gave Getsy the opportunity. You had him on the sideline for a while. You put him in the box for 3 weeks. So what? You went 3 strikes in the box and that was it? Okay, now I'm done. He also stated in the press conference earlier this afternoon, when asked about the offensive, who's going to be doing the offensive play calling moving forward, that he would use the next 24 to 48 hours to decide who will replace Getsy. There's also been a report out there. Now, we know our passing game coordinator is Scott Turner, the son of former coach Norv Turner, that Norv Turner may potentially be in the building with the Raiders this coming season, maybe within the coming days. Again, AP said 24 to 48 hours will be the ultimate time that he's going to need to make this decision. And we shall see where this goes. Tomorrow is a trade deadline. Do I see us necessarily getting anybody at this point in time? Probably not. There have been reports out there that Justin Fields could be on the trade block for potentially a 4th round pick. I'm sorry, not Justin Fields. I apologize for that. Bryce Young could be on the trade block for a 4th round pick. Justin Fields potentially could be a guy that teams could look at right now that might be in desperate need of a quarterback. But again, deadline is 4:00 tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. So stay tuned for that, and we will see how this plays out. Moving forward, let me see. I'm seeing more people coming in here right now. Man, Mumford got, oh my God, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to get there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to get there. Yeah, forget. Let's not even do that. Yay, he's back. Guys, Hug D's is back in the building. Thank God. Paul, salute. David Zahn, salute. I see more and more people are coming in. Sacktown, what's good, my guy? Tim, Leaky, West Coast J. I'm going through this right now. Demokes. I see a couple more came in, so I appreciate you guys pulling on up. So let's move on. And this is something that I know you guys are like, wait, what are we talking about here? The Raiders potentially losing draft picks. A salute to the 2 new subscribers that just pulled up. Say something in the chat. Let everybody know who you are. This isn't AA, but we're a family in here. We want everybody to chat it up with one another. But I digress. Let's get into this. So yesterday, Tom Brady was doing the live play-by-play for the Lions and Packers game. During the game, Brian Branch, the defensive back for the Lions, took a shot and ultimately got ejected. He hit Packers wideout Bo Melton helmet to helmet on an incomplete pass. Now, shortly after they were out for the next play, the refs didn't see anything there, but the offices in New York made the phone call and said, nah, he's gone, done, whatever. So Tom Brady, doing his commentary, had this to say during that game. I don't love that call at all. I mean, obviously it's a penalty, but to me, that has to be serious intent in the game like this. Knowing that Tom Brady now is a minority owner, there's a lot of things that he can and cannot do in terms of his broadcasting gig and also being the minority owner of our Las Vegas Raiders. So these are the restrictions that he currently has right now, being both a commentator and minority owner of our beloved Raiders. Brady's restrictions: he's not permitted to be in another team's facility. He's not permitted to witness practice. He's not permitted to attend broadcast production meetings either in person or virtually. He's prohibited from publicly criticizing game officials and other clubs, which a lot of people yesterday listening to his commentary took it as him criticizing the refs. And realistically, if he were to violate any of these things, it's subject to NFL's anti-tampering policy and also subject to NFL's gambling policy. But he's also, being a minority owner, if he were to do one of these things, cross the line in any way, shape, or form, then we ultimately would suffer the consequences, and that could potentially lead to forfeiting draft picks. Now, he got around the rules in terms of this situation, guys. So there is no loss of draft picks. This came from the front office of the NFL a couple of hours ago. Brady won't be punished for his comments during Sunday's Packers-Lions game. This was from Alex Schiffler and Michael McCarthy of the front office. The NFL had no issue with his comments, according to the source. Brady won't be fined. So again, he's got to be careful. He pretty much is on a tightrope when it comes to pulling double duty as the minority owner and also being a commentator for Fox right now. But everything right now, we're good. We're not losing anything. So there's nothing to be concerned about at this point in time. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Salute to LV's daughter. Happy birthday and many, many more. Who put the mod father on timeout? Also, Hugs, what did you... Okay, so he didn't do anything. What happened was we had the bots in here yesterday during our live game, and I guess I hit the wrong button. That was it. I apologize. I tried to bring him back as quickly as I possibly could. He's back, guys. Thank goodness, because I felt terrible. Like, I felt really, really bad about this. I really want Joe to call in because the conversations we were having this afternoon, there was a lot that he had to let out in terms of what has transpired over the last 24 hours. And you guys are not going to want to miss what he has to say. I might actually have to personally call him myself during this live. He said he was going to be around. I'm going to check actually, because he did say something in the chat before. He actually should have called like 5 minutes ago. So we're going to do this. And I hope you guys can hear him because, you know, the mad scientist is doing something again differently today. And I think you guys didn't say anything before in terms of the sound effects, but I need a thumbs up, thumbs down right now that you guys heard everything loud and clear. So let's just play this one real quick. I didn't do it.
You about to be unceremoniously.
I just had to play that because you said it first. Yeah, we figured it out. We should not have any more issues moving forward. And when we have guests on, I'm pretty sure everything will be on the up and up moving forward. So definitely the mad scientist once again, and he got it right. So we're good. Everyone give a happy birthday to LV Maximus's daughter, Jordan. Is funny because my brother's name is Jordan as well. Happy birthday, Jordan. And do me a favor, guys. Those that are in the chat right now, just put birthday cake emojis or birthday celebration stuff. Throw those spam right now for LV's daughter, Jordan. That's it. And let's try to get a hold of this clown real quick. See if he wants to answer and talk. You guys hear that?
Yo,
what up, bro?
what up?
You're live, bro.
Hey, what's going on, folks? What's up, brother? I'm sorry, I'm in a picking my. I'm on. I know last week you said I'm on. What was the word you used? Assignment. The assignment was family time, so I'm still finishing up my family time. So, my bad. I lost track of time. So sorry, y'all.
All good. So
what's the topic du jour?
So we talked about the stuff around the league. We talked about the firings of Dennis Allen with New Orleans. We talked about our firings late last night. We talked about Tom Brady with the criticism of the refs in the game yesterday, but there will be no penalties. The league has already said it wasn't anything that bad. So I know you and I were kind of going back and forth a little bit through text earlier, and you said you had a lot to say. So floor is yours right now, my guy.
Man, look, like we're gonna be real about everything. The firings are sacrificial lambs. The reality is this: you hired these men 9 months ago. Your job is on the line, whether or not it gets said publicly or will come out publicly. Antonio Pierce's job is on the line. You don't fire your assistant head coach. You don't fire your coordinators or guys in key positions if you weren't told like changes need to be made. Otherwise, a change will be made. And I'm of the belief, based on conversations that I've had with people in and around the organization, that if this season continues to go the way it's going, there will be another head coach in place. And I would say almost an entirely new offensive staff, other than maybe running back and receiver coach.
Wow.
I would also say that if you look at the crop of men that are available to be head coaches, you have guys like the always mentioned Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel. You have other guys potentially like Robert Saleh or here's a name, Cliff Kingsbury. you have other coaches that are out there that have experience or are the hot name for head coaches that have taken to the ladder to become a head coach the way it's supposed to be done without skipping part of the process. And what I mean by that is there's a reason why position coaches go to become run game coordinators or passing game coordinators and then offensive coordinators and then head coaches. People could say special teams. Well, let's talk about the chin, right? He was a special teams coordinator before he became a head coach. He coordinated and controlled and ran an entire room. And that room in particular was the entire team with special teams. So I tend to think that those skipped processes that Antonio Pierce had has come back to bite him in the butt, so to speak, because of the communication barrier that seems to be there with players. Because there is a way that he allows certain players to do things, like Jack is able to get away with more things than another player who may be benched or see his playing time diminished. Or in some cases, even though he wasn't all pro, was traded away. So you can't have, I mean, you're not Jimmy Johnson. You can't treat certain players one way, another players another, and then another player like crap. Especially when you're still trying to prove yourself to be a head coach and navigate through those waters. So I tend to think that one, AP is in fact in hot water, and two, these firings were sacrificial firings in order to kind of save his job and see what he can salvage throughout the rest of the season.
Do you think that we already know that this thing right here is out the window realistically, regardless of how bad the AFC has looked this year? But
playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
But do you think that they could potentially finish with a record that is going to somewhat find us out of the top 5 if the necessary changes and people are put in the right place to take over the offensive play calling happens?
Potentially, yeah. I think so. I also think, I talked about it on the franchise podcast with TQ last week, and I find it amusing that you have grifters who watch the show that I'm on and watch this show and other shows with that Graph and Wasted and some other shows, watch those shows and write articles about it like they're breaking news. Like, I'm sorry, ain't nobody's uncle doing that. And you can read between the lines, folks. And he ain't nobody's uncle. And the dude is a grifter and he steals ideas and stuff from other shows that people are talking about on shows and says, oh, I talk to you. You talk to the people in your head. That's who you talk to. So I don't even want to hear that. So I think, and I did say last week, and I think I brought it up to you in text. I think I brought it to you and our other my homeboy in SoCal from East Los Angeles in text. I said, hey, Anthony Richardson, would you be opposed to giving up a 4th or so for him? Because he's not going to fetch a 1st or a 2nd from anybody, especially since he's been benched.
Right.
And if you were to get it, let's say you give up a 4 for Anthony Richardson, well, that frees you up in the top 10 to maybe add to the offensive line or add to the secondary, maybe get a key. Or if Travis Hunter's there, Travis Hunter. So you don't have to take a quarterback. You still got a young guy on a rookie contract that you can see for a year or two when the quarterback class is better than what it is because this class you got Shador, Cam, and then there's maybe Beck, and then there's about their Shador and Cam Ward. There's a huge drop off, as you know. So, I mean, I said this to TQ last week before I came to Cali. I thought the Raiders at this point, I think I said it on our show, will be a 3-win team the rest of the way. They'll win a total of 3 games, and they'll squeak out a win somewhere, and then at that point, you have to really reevaluate everything. And I think that's what Mark Davis is kind of seeing. I think that's what Tom Telesco is seeing. And I'm sorry, if I'm a glass half full person. You have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds of the draft.
Yep.
And so if you were to maybe trade some players tomorrow, by tomorrow's deadline, you may be able to add to that. I think depending on the injuries to Nate Hobbs, I think a team like Green Bay, a team like Philly would be interested in a Nate Hobbs. Colton Miller, there's everybody and their mama looking for an offensive lineman. And you may be able to get something with him with no guaranteed money coming off his contract after this season. So he's not guaranteed to be here. So with all of that, they could be in a position where the rebuild could be really quick. And I believe that Tom Brady has a huge say in what's going on. And I think that gets me personally excited because I believe that he's got Mark Davis's ear. I don't think Mark Davis is going to not listen to him. And I think Mark's going to take what he says under heavy consideration. And if Tom is seeing things and knowing about things, hearing about what's going on in the building, and he doesn't like it and tells Mark, this is the way it's not supposed to be. Here's how it should be done. I think Mark's going to take heed and listen to his advice.
What do you see? Do you think realistically that we could see, like, I've talked about this, but hearing the reports over the last week as well, it's like they're standing pat right now with what they have, and they're not even remotely even trying to be sellers right now. Do you think that that's going to be proven otherwise by tomorrow's 4 p.m. deadline?
I don't think it's likely they move anybody, but I think they're going to get calls. I mean, look, I know for a fact a team called about Nate Hobbs. I wrote about it for another website for that team that I write something for once a week. I know for a fact that they called about him. And the same thing goes for, look at New Orleans. They said they're not going to be sellers. Well, you just fired your head coach. Your team sucks. You've lost 7 straight. Shout out to Derek Carr. So if that's the case, hey, why not get something for the guys that are there and accelerate the rebuild? For New Orleans, it's a lot tougher since their cap situation is the polar opposite of what is happening in Oakland. Oakland, you have $100 and something million next year in cap space. You are under the cap 100, or you're over the cap $100 million in New Orleans.
Yo, Trap God said we're bringing back DC. God, no. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap my guy.
I'll put it to you like this, Hammer. I'll say this on this show. Mark Davis will not allow that to happen. How's that?
Good. I'm all for it then.
Mark Davis is not the biggest fan of DC.
Taino just asked, what are your thoughts on quarterback Dylan Gabriel from Oregon?
Trash.
God damn.
The dude had an injury that almost ended his career when he was at UCF. He's little. He's not. Look, for me, I'm looking at it like this. If I'm going to take any quarterback in this draft, it's going to be Shedeur or it's going to be Cam Ward. Cam Ward is a multifaceted quarterback that plays with an attitude. I love that. He plays pissed off and angry, and that's how you're supposed to play football. You're not supposed to play like a choir boy. So
shout out to DC. Yeah. You got anything else for these lovely people? We have 261 in here right now.
Shout out to everybody in there right now, man. I'm sorry that I missed last week's show. I said I'm with the family. No, I got a time. I just dropped the family off while they're going inside to grab a snack for the kids out of school. So fire away. I obviously can't see any of the questions, or comments, but look, man, the reality is this. Firing these coaches, is it really how much is it really the coach? And I'll say this about Getsy. I don't support Getsy. I don't hate Getsy. I don't have any feeling towards him. But what I will say is the attitude and the style of play comes from the head coach. How much of that is AP saying, I want to run the ball, I want to have run control, we're going to control, I need my defense off the field as much as possible. And you not have the dogs to do it. Zamir White isn't the answer at running back. Madison is the best running back on the roster currently, but he's also shown that why he's a number 2 type back to a number 1 back. Your offensive line is not playing great, except for Jackson Powers Johnson, who looks like the best center in the draft last year, like he was. And I'm not sure if Andre James is getting that position back when it's all said and done.
I think we all hope that doesn't happen. I think we were all happy when we heard the news that James was out this past week and JPJ was getting the start. I think now it is JPJ's job to lose, and I don't see JPJ losing that job anytime soon.
He's the highest graded player on the team yesterday, on the entire team, with a 90+ rating, PFF rating. I'm not a stats guy. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a nerd like that believes in that. But I believe that there is a bunch of truth that can be told if you really look within it. And that line looked better yesterday, or at least the interior with him there. I don't think he loses that job. And Glaze, it looks like he's the answer at right tackle. So, I mean, there's.
What are your thoughts on Mumford at left tackle yesterday?
Oh God, you see his ass get Hendrickson pull his ass over.
Yes.
Like that looked like my kids trying to block me. Like, and I'm talking about my 5 and 4-year-old. Like, like we were at my boy. So yesterday, I'm in the Fresno area, right? I'm in Central Cali where my 2 little ones are at. I went to one of my best friends in the world. I've known this guy since we were in kindergarten. He's a huge Raider fan, one of the biggest Raider fans I know. We used to do a show together called The Average Joe Show. We both are named Joe. And we're over there watching the game, and we watched it. And then his son, he's got a 7-year-old son that's almost the size of me, which isn't hard to be. And the kid is running at me. I'm just kind of like putting my arms out. And there's like a beanbag behind him. And I kind of hit him a little too hard, and he flew back and looked like Mumford yesterday. And I said, what the hell? I go, is that Con Man? Is that Connor doing that? And he started laughing. He was like, what? But yeah, man, like that's what I'm saying. If you could, like, I'll pose a question to everybody in chat, right? If you have the ability to get Anthony Richardson for let's just say a 4th round pick that could go to a 3rd in 2026, depending on how well he does next year, would you make that deal? Provided that now you can take one of the top, if not the top offensive linemen in this draft in round 1, you could come back in round 2 and get your receiver because you need a guy that can be a number 1 receiver. Then in your 2 third rounders, you can get a running back, you can get another lineman.
I'm not taking the fly on Richardson because of his injury history already at the next level. I'm not taking that chance.
Okay, that's a very fair point. That's a very fair point.
Like, would I take the flyer on Bryce for a 4th? Maybe. Would I take a flyer on Justin Fields just for the rest of the year and give like a 6th or a 7th? Yeah. But Anthony Richardson for me, no.
Fields ain't going anywhere. They're not going to do that. Russell Wilson's injury history. It will not let that happen. Like that's what I'm saying. Richardson at 22 years old, at his size, the injury last year sucks. This year, it was regrettable. But I do think that there is a very good there's a very good chance that a deal for Richardson could be in play. And I'll leave it at that.
I got another one for you, but you're probably going to say no. Shout out to Paul Egerton. He just asked, what about Hendon Hooker? Penix is not happening, but what about Hendon Hooker?
Would Detroit want to give him up? I mean, I know they locked in Goff long term, but at the same time, is that something that you want to do? A guy that's really unproven. Only time I've seen him get in is a take a knee a couple of weeks ago.
So no Hooker in Vegas.
And we're talking about injury history. He's coming off of injury history in college.
So no Hooker in Vegas.
Damn, if Jimmy G was here, I said that'd be perfect.
Oh, here we go. Jimmy G string.
Man, but
hey, man, bro, I'm gonna let you go. I'm going to take a couple of the viewers' calls. Definitely appreciate you calling. I hate the fact that you're not on the live with us again, but
I'm back next week. I'm back for sure. I'm back in Vegas, and yeah, I'm ready to go. So
you do know we're on a bye, so there's not going to be much to talk about this coming Monday.
Oh shit, that's true. God, dog. Well, then, I mean, yeah, there'll be trade deadline stuff.
We'll figure something out, though, bro. We'll definitely be talking.
All right, brother. I appreciate everybody, and sorry that I'm not there. We'll be there soon.
Let them know where they can find you, bro.
At Joe Arrigo FSM, at the franchise LV on all social media outlets. And I got something special I'm working on that I think everybody's gonna like once it's all completed and once it's all said and done.
All right, bro. We'll talk.
All right, guys.
Later.
Check you later.
Shout out to Joe. So you guys got about 20 minutes of the Hammer and Joe show, the Hammer and Joe show. So I'm going to take that because I know you guys have been asking, a couple people had asked over the last week. Hammer just wants to see the Hooker Glaze beer reality. Yo.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
What is wrong with you? I'm going to get rid of you again. Keep it up. Yo, y'all are wilding right now for that one. Let me get this off the screen. And salute to the 243 that we still have in here right now. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell. Now, it's about that time, and you guys see it on the rundown. Now, this part of the show is about you guys, Raider Nation. So we're going to take some calls, put the number up on the screen for you guys, for you to call in, sound off. Let me know your thoughts about yesterday's game. Let me know your thoughts about the firings. Who do you think is going to be the offensive play caller? Again, AP said that they're going to have a sit down and make a decision about this in the next 24 to 48 hours. Granted, we are on the bye week, and again, the trade deadline is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's hear what you guys have to say. You guys see it on the screen right now. SeatGeek Vault Line, have your voice heard? Sound off. 347-471-0361. This part of the show is about y'all, and this part of the show is powered by SeatGeek. Trying to go to your next sporting event, your next concert, download the SeatGeek app. Use promo code HammersHouse for $20 off your first purchase. Download the SeatGeek app today. I stopped myself from saying that's okay. There are enough hookers in Vegas. Damn, Sarah. Sarah comes in with some good ones every once in a while. Gotta give her props for that. There you go. Anthony, the mod father, pulls no punches. That's a fact. You are out of control. All that one hooker doesn't make them hooker experts. No. What the fuck? Yo. What's wrong with y'all? Let me make sure Do Not Disturb is off. Oh shit. Okay, now it's off. Guys, call on in. I tried to get a hold of Elite today, especially in the absence of Joe, and no answer. I hope everything's good with her though. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Raider Hammer? It's the number one Raider stunner. What? Calling from Lastonia, Georgia. How you doing, man?
What up, bro? Sound off. Floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I am like Ice Cube. Today is a good day because Luke no call Getsy is gone. He never should have came here, and I'm glad the rest of the people who got let go because it was a major fire sale. So I'm loving that. I'm digging that like the devil. And the person that's finna get ready to go next, really, I think is I know it's Antonio Pierce. I really do. And I think, I remember Wasted said that Mark Davis should just let, AP ride on out for the rest of the year, then, get a new coach. But personally, I think his time has come. And I like what he did by letting all these bums go who shouldn't have been there in the first place. So my personal opinion, I think Marvin Lewis should be the next Brady's head coach, because after all, look at what he did to the Cincinnati Bengals.
That was a long time ago that Marvin Lewis did those things, though. I don't know. It's going to be tough to say because I think that if, in fact, Pierce is gone this coming offseason, I don't think it's going to happen right now. But if he is, in fact, gone this coming offseason, pretty much majority of that staff is going to be gone. And like we were talking about before, and like Joe said, I think it's going to be everybody minus the defensive side.
And I'm going to leave you with this. The next two bums need to leave, that they need to trade is Jack Jones and Gardner Boogie Moron Minshew. And when it comes to that, I'm going to say, like the late great David Ruffin said, in a song called Statue of a Fool, somewhere there should be for all the world to see a statue of a fool made of stone, man. Okay, you take it easy, Hammer.
Take care, brother.
And remember, just like MC Hammer said, Hammer, I am Hammer. They put you in the mix.
That never gets old.
Man.
Later, bro. I swear to God, people have been doing that for the longest time, and I've told y'all where the name came from, but I'm not revisiting that either. You guys see it on the screen. I know somebody was just trying to call in, and there it is. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mitchell. I'm calling from Colorado, long-time Raider fan. Just wanted to pose a question to you. Why do you think we're doing this now? Why didn't we do it last week? What are we trying to do, win?
I don't know if we're necessarily trying to win at this point, but at the same time, it's like I have the same thoughts right now in terms of this. It's like you gave this dude 9 games, 9 weeks, and it was the same repetitive shit over and over and over again. You went as far as, oh yeah, he's on the sideline, and then you put him in the box for 3 weeks. And I said it earlier in the show, like it must have been being in the box and not being successful. 3 strikes, you're out. This was something that definitely should have happened way sooner. And this was something that I actually wanted to touch on as we were doing the show right now. In terms of AP a couple of weeks ago, pointing fingers and putting blame on the players' lack of execution, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, you just fired the 3 main problems of why this offense isn't working. So you wanted to try to point the finger. You wanted to throw these guys in front of the Mack truck head first. The guys that went to bat for you, that wanted you here as a full-time head coach. You should have listened to them, and you should have made the necessary decision 2-3 weeks ago and fired all 3 of these guys.
Absolutely. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're just going to mess up the only possible great outcome that could come from this season, which is the number 1 pick overall, and we're going to try to win now? For what? It's frustrating, Hammer.
We'll see how this goes, man. Definitely appreciate the call, though.
All righty, man.
Take care.
Raiders!
I swear it felt like he was falling out of the chair as he said, Raiders. They said who's no Trap. AP said in the presser earlier this afternoon they're going to make a decision within the next 24 to 48 hours. Did this dude just try calling again? He did. 1 call per show, guys. Appreciate you, Isaiah. Come on, man. You know we do the innovative stuff here. We do the more interactive stuff, and again, I do this for each and every single one of y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Oh, my favorite. I love when you guys do that. I'm with you. I'm going to be pissed if they win 1 single game. Realistically, and I said this a couple of weeks ago after the first few games with how things were looking, that this is probably going to be at best a 5-12 team. And it might even be less than that. But I'm just hoping right now that, look, I've told you guys my thoughts. Where we're at right now, I'm not saying that we need to tank. I don't believe in that shit. That word to me is just disgusting. That and rebuild are the most disgusting, vile words when it comes to professional sports. But they keep up at this rate. And again, injuries have caught up tremendously. Who's to say we still don't end up with like a top 3 pick in this upcoming draft? Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's the unceremoniously blocked mod father.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to block you. It made me feel bad.
What's going on, Hammer?
Not much. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Hammer? Oh, just this team is bananas, man. I'm kind of excited actually about the firing. I know the last caller was like, "What are we trying to do? Win?" I mean, to be honest with you, no NFL team goes into a season to try and lose and get the number one pick, right? We always want to be competitive. But at 2-7, what's our best possible record? 10-7. Are we trying to win 8?
There's no way in hell we're winning 8 in a row. There's no way in hell we're winning 8 in a row. No way. I'm sorry. That's not an insult. It's a fact of life. It is a reality, folks. We're not winning 8 in a row. We're not finishing this season 10-7. And if we do, holy shit. But I don't see that happening at all.
Right. So realistically, we're at 2-7 now. We win what, 3 or 4 more games?
That's what I'm looking at. Probably. I'm thinking 3, maybe 4.
If we go 5 to 6 wins, that puts us where? Middle of the pack again? Somewhere around there?
Probably.
Like high teens, if you will, in the draft?
Probably.
Yeah. So then you got to think to yourself, is Telesco the guy that moves up? And we know that he is not a guy who moves up. He takes BPA at the spot he's getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little scary, to be honest with you, if you think about the future. Watching the game, man, I had to turn it off about, I think, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I'm not a fan that turns off football games. I watch them all the way to the end most of the time. And this just, I don't know, man. When I saw Glaze get pushed 5 yards back and set on his ass by Hendrickson and he killed Ritter, I was done. I'm like, you have to be kidding me.
This is why I tell you guys all the time, like, and I mean it when I say it. Like, I do this for y'all. Like, I see we're getting blown out, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm done. But nah, I ride out with y'all because y'all are family, and we're all in this together. So I'm never gonna just be like, throw everything and be like, nah, I'm done. Like, I'm here for you guys, and you guys are here for me. So I'm not going nowhere.
And then coincidentally, just as that happens, I get blocked off the live, and I'm all right, dude, I'm done. I'm gonna go do some other shit.
I'm sorry. It's those fucking bots, man. And I'm like trying to snipe each and every single one of them. And I guess you were like right under one of them. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to get you back in the chat right away, though. Like, when I on those live shows, don't worry about the bots. Me and the mods will take care of it. We're pretty good at it. Me and Sarah usually fight for it, but on your show, you try and handle everything so quickly that it's just too much. Just pay attention to the game. You know why? Because if it's me and Graf, we're running off of Graf's stream. So he's normally the one that does that because he's the one that's on top of the chat all the time. Doing the solo yesterday, it was all me. And I just wanted to make sure everything was good. I didn't want any issues yesterday.
Yeah, we'll clean out the bots, man. Don't worry about those. But I just wanted to call in and say, hey, man, I don't know. It's scary going into the end of this season, trying to figure out what the heck's going to happen. Yeah, we got rid of 3 coaches. Antonio Pierce is definitely trying to win. I mean, if you hear the way he talks at pressers, that's what he wants to do. He wants to compete and win. And it's just, I don't know. It really comes down to what happens at the end of the year. The hope's gone for this year. We'll just put it that way. Now we just got to kind of figure out where it all ends up and how it's going to look in the off season, I guess.
Absolutely. John, as always, man, I appreciate you calling in. We'll definitely be talking soon.
You bet, brother. I'll see you in the chat.
Take care, bro. Salute to Omen Hellfire. North Turner for OC. We talked about that a little earlier. There is an article that's out there right now suggesting it. I don't know how true it is. We do know his son, Scott Turner, is a passing games coordinator right now. And again, AP is going to make a decision within the next 24 to 48 hours who the play call is going to be moving forward. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Calling from Virginia. Name is Ron. RJ Raider.
What's going on, bro? Sound off.
First time calling in. I was thinking. They said something about what Scott Turner possibly taking over as the OC for now. I'm thinking as far as like excuse me, I've got something in my throat, man. Hold on. I think AP is pretty much coaching for his job. You know, I don't think we're getting rid of Getsy and the offensive line coach and the quarterback coach. If you go back and look at all these guys' resumes, they all were terrible. You know, I don't even know why they brought him in the first place. But that's a mistake they made. But I don't see them getting rid of AP unless they lose like maybe the rest of their games. But I think I'm like you, I think they're 4 games, maybe 5 at best. They might pull off an upset on one of these teams, later on down the line. But I think they should go the route. If AP is going to remain the coach, he needs to go get him a innovative offensive coordinator. He really does. I know more than likely they're probably going to draft a quarterback. But if they win games, Shedeur Sanders probably the top, NFL-ready quarterback out there. And, he might go first. They might have a hard time getting him. But like I said, they need to get a offensive coordinator, get somebody who's, innovative, who can run an offense. Maybe go look in the college level, see if they can find somebody, there's, let's look at some of these college level OCs, and maybe they can persuade them to come, get somebody who's, but like I said, you need a quarterback, go in the draft, build up the offensive line a little bit, a couple of people. You already got Glaze, you got Jackson Powers Johnson. Those guys are foundational pieces, I think. They play pretty good. But, build up the offensive line. The defense seems to be okay except for a few pieces, they've had a lot of injuries, Christian Wilkins, and it hurt them, and Kuntz. Those guys being out, it hurt them. But, I don't think they're tanking on purpose. I don't see that. Like I said, I think AP is playing for his job. He's coaching for his job. So
I think they're gonna battle it out the rest of the way. Again,
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna when we hang up, I'm gonna go through actually I could do it right now, the remaining schedule for us as we come back from the bye week. We have Miami in Miami. We're home against the Broncos, and then Black Friday, we're in KC for the Chiefs. Following week, we are in Tampa. We are home for the Falcons. We're home for the Jags. We're in New Orleans just before New Year's. And then the final week of the season, we are home for the Chargers. Realistically, I see maybe 2 wins with this remaining schedule.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm not sorry. You're probably looking at 4-13 right now.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you. Like I said, they might be able to pull off an upset, which divisional rivals are always tight. Like the Chargers and the Broncos. Like you said, I'm like you. I maybe see 2 wins, maybe 3. Like I said, which will put them probably in the top 10 of drafting. So hopefully. And another thing I want to say too, people talking about firing AP. You got to remember, Telesco doesn't really have a good history of hiring coaches either. I mean, he does okay in the draft, But look at the Chargers last couple.
I'm just thinking about Staley because you're saying it. I'm thinking about Staley. Good God.
Yeah, they were horrible. He was horrible. And Anthony Lynn didn't do too great before him, like I said. So he doesn't really have a good resume of hiring coaches either. So
right.
I mean, I don't know if you want to put that in his give him that
No, but at the same time, now with this minority ownership between Richard Seymour and Tom Brady, and I've said this a couple of times, these guys are going to be the ones that are in the ear of Mark Davis moving forward. They're going to help in assisting making conscious football decisions, some very smart football decisions moving forward. If it means replacing Antonio Pierce, then so be it. If it means making the really strong moves in this upcoming draft and building upon the foundation that we have right now, it's not a rebuild right now, boys and girls. This is a bit of a retool. This was supposed to be a year where we were supposed to have a bridge gap quarterback, and instead we signed a second backup quarterback as our starting quarterback with 3 offensive coaches. Realistically, those 3 coaches that just got fired, Getsy, Scangarello, and Gregg, those are the 3 stooges. and they all went down at the same damn time. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like I said, if you look at those guys' resumes, Getsy, Scangarello, and the other guy, the quarterback coach, they all were lousy in their last jobs. They weren't very good. So, like you said, but that's why I think it's ridiculous when people talk about trading Max Crosby. I mean, why would you trade Max Crosby? He's a foundational piece.
Yep.
I mean, you just, that's stupid in my opinion. I wouldn't trade him unless he asked to be traded. I wouldn't move off a guy like Max Crosby. It's crazy. Yeah. But keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate you. Like I said, enjoy your show, and go Raiders, man.
Thanks so much, man. Take care. I'm gonna take one more. Somebody just asked what the number is. I'll put it back on the screen. I'm gonna take one more. We're gonna wrap it up. Salute to the 263 in here. We are 17 away from 9,500. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell, y'all. Number is right there on the screen. Now it is. My fault. 347-471-0361. Call in, sound off, guys. Let's go. Salute to everybody on the IG side of things as well. This will be uploaded momentarily once we finish the live. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, brother. It's Terry Ogden, Louisiana. How's it going, man?
What's going on, bro? Sound off.
Y'all just make it short and sweet. I'm glad that we got rid of the three coaches we got rid of because that offense has been atrocious. But I also think we need to look at Graham, too, because he's been hailed as a defensive genius. But he's only had 1 year with us that was actually halfway decent, which was last year against a bunch of backups. And watching the defense this year, the middle of the field is always open. We are getting killed in the middle of the field every game, even when we had our starters. And I don't think he's it either. And I just wanted your thoughts on that, bro.
Oops. I'm so sorry, guys. I muted myself. This team has been plagued by injuries this season. And at the same time, it's just added up week in and week out. Like, we used 8 offensive linemen yesterday. Our defensive line has been depleted by injuries. And it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse because there are other teams that are battling. Every team has injuries right now. Like, we talked about it earlier in the show. The Cowboys just lost Dak Prescott for the next couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were out for a couple of weeks for the Rams. Puka got ejected yesterday, but it is what it is. But some of these teams that have been plagued by the injury bug, some of these teams are actually still not doing too bad right now. So it's not an excuse. It was the play calling in terms of the offensive side of the ball. Like, we have a great first drive. We have a nice little scoring drive, and then we can't do shit afterwards. Like, it's fucking obnoxious. It's ridiculous, and it is what it is. Uh-oh.
Oh, you there, brother?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Go ahead.
I didn't know it sounded like it had switched to the live, and I was like, "Oh Lord, is he talking to me or is he talking to the live?"
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the viewers as well. Like, this, the injury plague is just, it sucked.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. But yeah, the only thing is I jumped up and I was all about AP, and I admit I think I was wrong about that one. But definitely Getsy was a horrible decision, and I'm really starting to look at Graham too as far as his schemes and adjustments. It just seems like every year, even last year, even when we have our starters, that we always get killed in the middle of the field with this bend or break defense, but it never gets fixed with him. And so I'm really starting to bring him into question too.
You got a lot of feedback, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm hearing the live while I'm talking.
I don't know why that is. Are you still watching from somewhere?
Yeah, I'm watching you and talking at the same time.
That's probably why, because you have it at a point where everybody can hear. Because I got people in the chat saying they hear feedback as well. But I'm gonna take one more call because Wasted should be up in like another 15 minutes. So let me take one more call. Definitely appreciate you calling in. We'll talk soon.
All right. Be careful, bro.
Take care.
Bye.
Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Hammer? This is Barbecue and Raider.
What's up, bro?
California.
What's going on, bro? Sound off.
Well, the reason I have a problem with the firing of Getsy, I'm gonna tell you the only reason why. I mean, you would know that he was already going to get fired, right? And I'm not too sure if this is right, but I heard Mitchell Wren say they're going to have a week off.
Well, we are officially in the bye week right now.
A bye week, right?
Yeah, and AP.
So my thing is like,
go ahead.
Why would if you know that you were going to fire Getsy, why not have somebody in place to just absolutely hire him on the spot and try to get this offense going right away?
Because it doesn't necessarily work like that. And right now they have plenty of time. Like the players don't return to practice until next Wednesday. AP said in the presser this afternoon that they're going to make a decision in terms of the play calling in the next 24 to 48 hours. There's plenty of time for them to make the decision they're going to make. And at the same time, it's like, look, the same thing happened last year, almost a year around this time, a couple days after, actually. McDaniels and Ziegler were fired. Within a matter of hours, though, for them, it didn't take that long, but they ultimately made the decision, like, AP is going to be the interim head coach. Champ Kelly is going to be the interim GM. But this one, and I've talked about this for a couple of weeks where I said, like, look, give the play calling responsibilities to somebody else. I'm not necessarily saying he needed to be fired at the time, but when you're doing the same shit over and over and over again and expecting a different result, insanity for those that don't know what that is. This was the right move. And again, they'll make a decision. I said it before. North Turner was a guy that apparently has been rumored. His son is on the staff as our passing game coordinator in Scott Turner. I think that he might be a guy, unless they do look from the outside and say, hey, you want to try to revitalize this offense for the next couple of weeks. But again, AP's job definitely is on the line as well. So we're going to see how this goes and play it out these next couple of weeks.
Now, I have one more question before you go. And thanks a lot for your time. Now, if I'm correct, North Turner is kind of like a run-heavy offense, correct?
Yep.
Now, with the team that we have right now and the players we have right now, do you think that offense would be able to, let's say, do good in NFL?
It all depends if they're, again, being off for almost 2 weeks, if certain changes are made, including the blocking scheme, maybe. Potentially.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Hammer, for your time.
No problem. Take care.
Bye-bye.
There's a dude calling all the way from Wisconsin. I don't know if it's Mr. Kennedy, but salute, bro. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Wisconsin.
Sound off, bro.
The only thing I got to say is I'd rather go offensive line and defensive line, because I think that we could honestly just build something off of just a weak quarterback and actually a weaker defense.
Are you talking about Are you talking about in terms of the trade deadline, or are you talking about in terms of the upcoming draft?
Upcoming draft. So if we had to, because we only got like a week away or a couple days away, why don't we just go out and make a 4th round draft pick splash for some guy that only got like 2 years left or something like that, and go from there?
I think if we go the route, and I think that offensive line will definitely be a need in this upcoming draft. I think what the plan will be, especially if we are there in the top 3, we get the quarterback.
Yep.
We have 4 draft picks in the first 3 rounds. We use one of those draft picks and a 2026 draft pick to find our way back into the first round and get an offensive lineman. I think defensive line, we're not bad. we're just depleted by injuries right now. We have Max, we have Christian Wilkins for the next couple of years. I don't know what the possibility is if they do like a 1-year prove it deal for Kuntz due to him being on IR this season. And Tyree's not going anywhere. Tyree's going to be here for another 2 years. So I do think offensive line is going to be another top priority in this draft, though, for us.
I was just thinking because, like, look at Philly. They got backups. So if somebody went down, you got somebody to fill it in.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't really have anybody to fill it in because we're just too depleted.
Ultimately, we find out 4 p.m. tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow is a trade deadline. We'll see if we're buyers or sellers. At this point, I don't know. I don't think that there's going to be any moves made by us. And if there are, it'll be something where we're going to get some type of draft capital back for one of these guys. And we've talked about Colton Miller. I don't know the severity of his injury from yesterday. Joe called in before. He mentioned Nate Hobbs. I don't know if I necessarily want to see Nate Hobbs go either. But again, 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we'll know for sure. Definitely appreciate the call, bro.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. All right,
bye.
Let me throw this on Do Not Disturb now. Anybody trying to call, I apologize. But yeah, we're ending that. We've already been on for, we made the hour mark. And again, Wasted's going to be live in another 8 minutes. So yeah, Lolo Flow, show love. Thank you. We're 15 away from 9,500. Appreciate everybody that pulled on up. Shout out to all the callers. Shout out to Joe for pulling on up for 20 minutes. He still got a little bit of the Hammer and Joe show today. So that's definitely a plus. We covered a lot. We talked about the things going on around the league, including the firing of Saints head coach Dennis Allen. Dak Prescott is going to be out for a few weeks with a hamstring injury. The firings of our offensive coaching staff in Rich Scangarello, James Gregg, and Luke Getsy. And ultimately, we'll see what's next. Tomorrow again, trade deadline, 4 p.m. Eastern. Pretty sure Graph will be live, doing it down to the very, very end. In terms of the trade, I know he should be coming back home today, so stay tuned for that. I'm pretty sure he'll be live tomorrow. I unfortunately will not be. If I find time to get on late afternoon or even after the deadline, I'll try my best to get on for you guys, and we'll chop it up a little bit. We shall see what happens. Again, 15 away from 9,500. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all that pulled on up today. I appreciate the nearly 70 new subs that we got yesterday doing that Bengals-Raiders game. Appreciate all the new guys that pulled on up and chatted it up with the rest of my brothers and sisters of Raider Nation. On your way out, if you haven't already, do me a favor. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. In the house that Hammer built by the nation, for the nation, Raider Nation News Today. Continue to stay safe. Most important, be kind to one another. COVID or not, you should always remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. And of course, as always, on my New York, peace, love, and positivity. And
when I leave, come together like butt cheeks.
We outro, y'all.